Obviously played Mandela. It was a life-changing experience for me to play someone like him. Took me to South Africa, brought me into a world that I had never sort of experienced before. Outside of just being an actor, this is the life experience of South Africa. I took a musical journey there because I was quite interested in the music, and before you know it, I was really fascinated with the music and vowed to sort of come back and do some music. No real goal, but I really wanted to come back and explore the music culture there. A year later, I found myself going to South Africa with a small team. A camera was rolling the whole time, and the idea was to document an actor, me, making an album. But then what ended up being filmed and shot and ended up being this movie was life, life happening. And there were some really sort of fragile moments that emerged because, you know, at the time I was dealing with the loss of my dad. And my dad was very encouraging to me in terms of what I did in my life. You know, he used to say, be an authority on whatever you want to do. And music was one of those things. But also my dad was the sort of blueprint for the older Mandela I played when I was doing the movie. So there I was in South Africa, cameras rolling, making this album. I had, you know, musicians from England and South Africa all in the same room, and things started to spurt. Emotions, grief. You know, I was writing songs about my experience playing Mandela, who was very ill at the time. And this, you know, when we came home, we had 90 hours of footage. We didn't have a film. We had a story about just life and this journey, and it just exploded into the cameras without us knowing it. And you know, and then this was born. I didn't go out to make this film. I didn't say, I'm going to make a film about my exploration in life. I went out to make a film about pushing faders and tuning guitars. And then this came out. Yeah, the music is very much a big component, you know, because the music became my language, you know, the way that I could express myself, and the way that it was the gateway to meeting all these really wonderful characters that end up becoming great characters in the film. I used the music to connect with them. I used the music to express some feelings that I couldn't quite articulate verbally. So music is definitely a massive component. In fact, you know, the album is a great album. I'm proud of it. But when we did the screening in London, so many people said to me, "I'm going to go buy the album. I want to hear all this stuff," because it doesn't overwhelm the film. You are intrigued as to what the finished results of these songs that you sort of introduced to within the film. Yeah, the music was very much, you know, I remember sitting at my dad's funeral and there was music playing, and it was all the songs that we grew up on, songs that were very close to my family, me, my mum and dad, and I was just shaking my head in tears, and I was just like, wow, you know, I want to make songs. I want to make a song that my dad would go, oh, good song, boy. So that's what happened, you know, and, you know, when I was playing Mandela, it was really hard for me to articulate what it was like to play him, you know. It was hard for me to just say, yeah, this is what it was. But the songs and the poetry and the words and the melodies and the emotions, they helped me really express that a lot easier. Yeah, Dan Vernon, such a talented man, because his style, you know, the cameras would just be there, and his interview process was very unintrusive. He would pick up on emotions, let them live a little bit, and then ask me about them later, and then I'd go, oh man, yeah, I remember this moment, and it would open up a whole different, it's a really interesting way to work. We were very close. He followed me for almost 9 months. He followed my mum for almost 9 months, trying to get pictures of us as kids, me as kids. but he's a very talented director. And when we shot the film, we had 90 hours of footage. We parted ways because honestly we ran out of finance. It was self-funded and we didn't really have a direction for the film. You know, we had so much footage, but it seemed criminal to then make a film about pushing faders and tuning guitars. There was so much more there. So my company Green Door decided, let's call him back to help us shape this into something more meaningful. To his credit, Nicholas Yearwood, who works for me, was watching the footage as an experiment to sort of see what we could do with it. He was in tears the whole time. He was like, I said, this film is not about music anymore. This is a lot of things. And he's an old friend of mine, so he was watching personal footage of me and stuff and saying, hey, you know what? I think we can make a different film. So Dan and I's relationship was very, very good from the beginning to the very day we released. That is quite funny. There are some laugh out loud moments, and they're just irony moments, ironic moments, you know. There's a lot of my life that I don't see from my perspective. So, you know, at that time I must have been on the promotion tour for Mandela, 15 different countries, red carpets everywhere. And having watched that from a camera's point of view, it was really like, whoa, is that what I do? That was, you know, that was definitely, it took me back a little bit.